As the Formula One grid braces for the seismic shake-up looming in 2025, few narratives have ignited as much excitement as Lewis Hamilton's highly anticipated leap from Mercedes to Ferrari. The air is thick with anticipation, as fans and pundits alike speculate on the impact Hamilton might have at the legendary Italian team. Among the many rumours swirling was one particularly juicy tidbit, that Hamilton might push for black Ferrari, a suggestion that the seven-time champion could lead Ferrari through a similar aesthetic revolution as he did with Mercedes. You might recall how Hamilton, a staunch advocate for diversity and inclusion, convinced Mercedes to trade their iconic silver for a sleek black livery, aligning with the We Race as One campaign. Now, while the idea of Hamilton becoming Ferrari's Black Knight sounds thrilling, and the image of him swapping Mercedes' silver arrows for Ferrari's prancing horse is bold enough to make headlines, some traditions are simply untouchable. The real question is, will Ferrari's iconic scarlet red for black ever be up for negotiation? While Mercedes returned to its classic silver livery in 2022, with later seasons incorporating more black paint for weight-saving purposes, the idea of a black Ferrari livery has recently stirred some conversation. When asked if he might suggest to John Elkann, Ferrari's executive chairman, to support his initiatives by running a black livery instead of the iconic red, Hamilton responded with a measured answer. Hamilton has made it clear that his commitment to promoting diversity within Formula One will remain steadfast as he transitions to Ferrari next year. Speaking to media, Hamilton, the sport's only black driver, emphasized his pride in the diversity initiatives he spearheaded during his time with Mercedes. He highlighted that continuing this work would be a top priority in his new role at Ferrari. Hamilton's influence on team aesthetics is well documented. From his input on car designs to helmet liveries, Hamilton's presence often leads to a blend of style and substance. So, it's not entirely out of the realm of possibility that he could inspire Ferrari to make such a bold change. Ferrari has been synonymous with the colour red. It's more than just a livery, it's a symbol of the passion, power and heritage that define the team. The Rosso Corsa has become as much a part of Ferrari's identity as its prancing horse emblem. But with Hamilton, a seven-time world champion known for pushing boundaries both on and off the track, joining the team, there's a growing belief that Ferrari might be willing to break from tradition in a big way. It's not just that they would do it for Hamilton alone. There have been rare occasions when the Scuderia has deviated from this tradition, particularly with a striking black livery. One of the most notable instances was during pre-season testing in 1996. Ferrari unveiled a black livery for their new car, the F310, driven by Michael Schumacher. This black livery was primarily used during the car's initial tests at Fiorano and Estoril, creating quite a buzz among fans and the media. The car was primarily black to signify its developmental phase before adopting the classic red for the racing season. The choice of black also added an air of mystery and seriousness to the testing, underlining Ferrari's commitment to making a strong comeback after years of underperformance. Another instance where Ferrari employed a black livery was in 2007, but this time it wasn't for a Formula One race. The Ferrari F2007 was showcased in a black livery during a promotional event and a few special test runs. This livery was more of a tribute and a marketing effort, rather than an indication of a racing change. The use of black by Ferrari is generally symbolic, often representing a period of transition or a nod to the team's past. It also aligns with Ferrari's image of elegance and power, making these black cars a memorable part of the team's rich history, and it might happen again when Hamilton joins Ferrari in 2025. Hamilton mentioned that he hasn't driven a black car for a while, so he probably won't be pushing for that too early on. Hamilton acknowledged that Ferrari has a lot of work to do, and he has already begun discussions with Ferrari executive chairman John Elkann, who is super excited to collaborate on these efforts. Hamilton's legacy at Mercedes includes establishing a commission to explore ways to enhance diversity within motorsports and STEM fields. Additionally, he and Mercedes co-founded the Ignite Partnership, which provides financial support to organizations dedicated to promoting diversity and inclusivity in both motorsports and STEM. On the other hand, it seems that Formula One chiefs have taken cue from Hamilton and have initiated discussions with teams to ensure that car liveries are more distinguishable from 2025. This move comes in response to growing concerns that some cars currently look too similar, particularly in television broadcasts, especially during night races. Feedback from the early season has highlighted the difficulty in distinguishing some cars from certain angles, sparking the push for change. The issue has been particularly notable with the liveries of Aston Martin and Mercedes, as well as Williams and Red Bull. These cars have been singled out for their similarity in appearance, especially when viewed at high speeds or from specific angles. The problem has been further aggravated by teams increasingly cutting back on painting their cars to save weight. This has led to a greater use of unpainted black carbon fiber, which is uniform across all cars, making them even harder to differentiate. Sources indicate that discussions have begun with teams to address this situation for the upcoming season, with the aim of ensuring greater visual diversity on the grid. The goal is to prevent cars from looking too similar, enhancing the viewing experience for fans. However, the situation is complex. While the FIA are keen to see this issue resolved for the benefit of fans, they are also cautious about imposing strict regulations on teams. The balance lies in encouraging diversity in liveries without overstepping into overly restrictive mandates. Nicholas Tombazis, the FIA's head of single-seater matters, confirmed that the issue of car liveries has been tabled for further discussion at the next F1 Commission meeting in an effort to find a solution. Tombazis acknowledged the complexity of the situation, stating, "As always in F1, it is a bit more complicated than maybe meets the eye. One of the primary concerns is the excessive use of naked carbon on cars due to the weight-saving measures associated with paint, leading to too much black on the grid." Tombazis pointed out that teams have been working hard to reduce the weight of paint, often using extremely thin films to keep cars as light as possible. Additionally, Tombazis noted that some teams are using similar colour schemes, resulting in cars that can appear visually identical, especially when viewed at high speeds or from certain angles. This overlap has prompted the ongoing discussions among teams, which will be a key topic at the next F1 Commission meeting. Tombazis emphasised that the best way to address this issue is through collaboration between teams rather than imposing new regulations. He suggested that teams could communicate with each other to avoid overlapping colour schemes, saying, "We need to get to some process where teams in some way or other communicate with each other and say, well, if your car is blue here, mine will not be blue there," or something like that. However, he also acknowledged the challenge of developing this collaborative process, noting that it is not something that can be regulated by the FIA. "We don't want to be making regulations about liveries as the FIA, but we do want cars to be distinguishable," Tombazis concluded. Tombazis also highlighted the growing challenge of distinguishing drivers due to increasingly similar helmet designs, which adds to the confusion on track. He mentioned that in the past, drivers had more recognisable helmets with simpler designs that often remained consistent throughout their careers. However, with recent regulation changes allowing more frequent helmet design swaps, drivers now sport a variety of complex patterns and shades. This, combined with the reduced visibility of helmets due to the halo device, has made it harder to identify which driver is in the car. As we inch closer to the 2025 season, the possibility of Lewis Hamilton donning Ferrari red, or perhaps even sparking a colour revolution, continues to fuel the imaginations of fans and experts alike. While a black liveried Ferrari might not be in the immediate future, it raises an interesting question. Should Ferrari adopt a black livery when Hamilton joins the team? Let us know in the comments. Until next time, goodbye for now.